That's one of those things that would really piss off like geeks. You know, it's like fuck, he figured it out. You know.
Yeah,
that kind
it
of
just
thing.
worked out. You know.
Shit. We can't get more money out of this jackass.
That's right. It's on sale.
Good for you, though.
Starting like this. I'm just gonna talk over the site.
Good afternoon.
What was that?
What's the issue?
We're
What?
starting like that. We're just starting
What?
all abrupt. You didn't give us any heads up. I was in the middle of talking.
That was like the worst opening we've ever done.
Was I interrupting something?
You fucked up, man.
What?
That was quite rude.
I was ready to go, so I just went. What? Sometimes you gotta just get into it, y'all.
You're like a Frenchman. Jesus Christ.
Like a Frenchman.
What does that mean?
I don't want to know what that means.
What are you trying to say about 38% of my heritage? What are you?
Just leave it at that, guys. You'll figure it out.
To be honest, I was just bored listening to you guys talk about internet cards, so I'm like, let's just fucking start the show.
Adam, I'm about 1/3 offended right now. Though.
1/3 offended. I've got some French in me. I've also got that like 5% European Jew in me, so please don't say anything towards the Jews, guys.
Oh, here's Nick's with his quesadilla.
Yeah.
It's one of those podcast people. Nick's just gonna be chowing down on some
Look,
Mexican food.
It's a Sunday, okay? You know.
Yeah.
It's a lazy
I mean,
Sunday.
I know we always record these on Sundays, but like, it's
the day of rest.
Today's a Sunday. You know what I mean?
Oh, a proper Sunday.
It does feel especially
proper
Sunday today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just, I don't feel like doing shit today.
Are you feeling the Lord baby Jesus in you?
I am, dude.
That's good. Nick's reaction.
Ain't no babies inside of me. What are you talking about?
I love saying
goodness.
the Lord baby Jesus just to make it all the more uncomfortable. I'm stealing from Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights in that dinner scene where for some reason they just keep saying "Dear Lord, baby Jesus."
That is a horrendous movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
That is
Excuse you.
I'm not that much of a fan either. if I'm being
Listen,
completely honest.
The movie
Talladega
may-
Nights.
The movie may not be good,
Yeah.
but damn is it bad. No, it's really fun though. It's a fun movie.
I suppose.
Watch it, once every 5 years.
That is actually one of the very few Will Ferrell movies that I will not give a second chance to.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'll watch Step Brothers. I'll watch Anchorman. Both of them, actually.
Anchorman is fantastic.
I'll defend
though.
Anchorman 2, dude.
Anchorman 2 is not so bad. Aside from that that mob scene where everyone gets together, I don't know.
You don't like all the cameos?
It's
in
a
that
little it's a little too much. Even for me, and that's saying something.
The thing about like Talladega Nights though is that like it sounds better on paper, I think, than it actually was.
Maybe.
Especially when you read like some of the names that are in it, and
scene? Right.
I guess so, yeah.
And
I just remember like not liking that movie at all. Like I don't know. I didn't even like Step Brothers, so
Oh, I love Step Brothers.
that's the problem is that I was sort of checked out of the Will Ferrell comedies after Anchorman. I was like, well, that was remarkable. It's brilliant, but
Then it began exactly where it ended. Then,
yeah,
'cause Anchorman's
pretty much.
Like,
that's the issue.
I like most Will Ferrell movies, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I ride for like Stranger Than Fiction. I kind of like that movie.
That's not like a Will. No, we're not talking about that. That's barely a Will Ferrell comedy.
Zoolander.
Zoolander's he's a villain in that.
Zoolander 1.
Yes, I've not seen Zoolander 2.
You mean Two-Lander?
Oh god,
Not good.
I don't even want to know.
Elf.
Elf is fantastic. I love.
Well, Elf is a fucking classic.
Yes.
Yeah, this is kind of a questionable run here between 2006 to 2008. You got in a row Talladega Nights. He did 3 sports movies. Talladega Nights, Blades of Glory,
I like Blades of Glory.
Oh, Blades of Glory is a good movie.
Yeah, I like.
and then he
Good
goes
film.
and then Semi-Pro.
and I actually don't mind Semi-Pro either.
Really?
But I hate Step Brothers and I hate Talladega Nights. Yeah.
Oh my god, Land
How
of
about
the
Kicking
Lost.
and Screaming?
Kicking and Screaming sucks.
Okay, not a good movie.
But you like Robert
Hold
Duvall.
on, though. No. That movie's pretty fun.
Oh,
I'm
come
sorry.
on.
The concept of him and his father coaching 2 soccer teams where their kids are the same age.
The only reason
That's so fucking
Duvall's
funny.
great.
that's it. I was like
Duvall is great.
The
in it.
only reason Nico gives any shits about it is because of Robert Duvall.
when
That's okay.
when Will Ferrell gives the kids a bunch of birds as gifts, and he's like, "They're not birds, they're finches." One of the hardest laughs I'd had in my childhood. Really great line. They're finches.
I wish I had your level of amusement for these things.
Kicking and screaming. That brings me back, bro.
I feel like we're missing one.
Not to be confused with Noah Baumbach's first film, Kicking and Screaming,
Yeah, that's right.
by the way.
Yeah.
It's pretty bizarre. You search
not
for...
the same film?
No. Because whenever you look, I think I was on Netflix. I wanted to watch the original Noah Baumbach movie, but the featured art is the Will Ferrell art. Because there was some sort of problem with the code on Netflix.
So you thought you were going to see...
Wait, you're telling me the actual Baumbach film had Will Ferrell in the...
No. I'm saying that the programmers at Netflix accidentally...
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the
they
Will
put
Ferrell
the wrong
art...
image.
Yeah, in for...
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying when movies have the same titles as previous movies.
Yes, Adam, it's very annoying.
Isn't it, guys?
That
happens a lot now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so annoying that this Avengers Endgame got confused with the 1954 Avengers Endgame.
Nico, did you know Halloween, and Halloween are all different movies?
It's so fucking frustrating.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the most frustrating.
There are
thing on the
3
face of the
movies. There are 2 Halloween 2s, by the way.
Right.
2 Halloween 2s and 3 Halloweens.
Right. But the third Halloween is a sequel to the first Halloween.
How hard is it to come up with a new name? Just like... Halloween, here we go again. Boom. Give me $1 million.
Halloween, Electric Boogaloo.
Halloween, let's do the time warp again.
Halloween, Day of the Soldado. Oh, shit. I have a question for you guys, because I was going to talk about this on another podcast, but I don't think it would fill a segment. So here's a question.
Sure.
I'm at the paint store yesterday.
Paint store?
Buying paint.
You don't just go to Lowe's or Home Depot.
No,
You're at the paint store.
I went to a paint store.
Okay.
You don't have a paint guy?
That's all. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? That's an excellent point. I should have a paint guy. You'd think of all people on the planet, Nico would have a paint guy, but I don't. So, I'm at the paint store, and this guy is showing me paint. Now,
as he would.
I'm not really good with this sort of thing. But I'm pretty sure the guy is of a certain sexual orientation.
Okay.
That is not mine.
So he's straight?
Fuck off. Anyway, the guy is showing me paint. And I'm like, I just want some gray paint. And he's like, well, there's all these different shades of gray. Do you want the essential paint or the elaborate paint or the premium paint? Like, just all words that mean exactly the same thing, but for some reason that's what they use to label these different qualities. He goes, this one's more washable than the other one, but this one's glossier. And I go, why would it be washable? He goes, just in case you get spaghetti on the walls. I go, why would I get spaghetti on the walls? He goes, I don't never know. So he tell me all this shit about paint, and he's just like, here's the finish. Way too specific with the terminology. What I realized about paint salesmen, like, they got to start selling other shit, because they've gotten way too obsessed with the very fine qualities of paint. Anyway, at the end of it, he's checking me out at the counter. I bought a can of paint.
Oh, I read that very differently.
And he goes, "What's your name?" Because I'm getting this through a business account of a family member of mine. This is how I'm purchasing the paint. And so I had to put my name down on the sheet.
What kind of shady shit are you doing,
I'm not doing shady
Nico,
shit.
What kind of shell corporation?
What?
Stop going to the
Fucking
paint
dirty-
store.
My father has a cabinet making business. He has an account with a paint store.
sure.
So I went to
Yeah,
go
sure.
get paint.
Yeah, sure he does. Yeah.
Just
what was the paint used for? Was it a business expense?
No,
Is
of course not. For my bedroom. Of
Should
course
I call up
not.
the IRS?
Fuck off, dude.
just
So,
go to a Lowe's. Go to a Home Depot. What are you doing?
it's cheaper with the business account.
Oh, but these guys are trying to like strong arm you into some weird
Anyway,
shit.
so he goes, "What's your name?" And I go, "Nico." And he goes, "Most days?" I go, "What?"
What?
I go, "What?"
Like most days
He
that
goes,
is your name?
He goes, "Most days, is that your name?" I go, "Yeah." And then the conversation ended. What do you interpret that line as meaning?
Most days. Does he
Is there some sort of implication that this guy's sexuality is related?
Well, this was my brother's theory, and I want to pass it by you. But I
Please
want to
tell
know,
me
first
this.
of all, what you
Because
thought.
I have no fucking clue.
You have to tell us this theory because I don't know what the hell that
Come
means.
up on the mic, by the way.
Come up on the mic.
My brother believes that this guy mistook me for a sexual professional. like a male
No.
stripper of some kind. And that he thought that I was going by a different alias.
That's a little far-fetched.
What else would that line mean? What is most days? What does that mean?
Is your dad's name on the account?
No, it's just Apollo Doors.
Are you sure your dad's name's not on the account?
I'm positive.
How positive are you?
I'm positive.
How positive?
Yeah,
again?
you looked at the computer. You checked
No.
in the back.
No, but I'm pretty damn sure.
Okay, so he's
Just
not
because
positive.
it said Apollo accounts doesn't mean your dad's name isn't also attached to that.
What would most days mean, though?
Why would he assume that he gets one good look at you? He knows that you're not a fucking male stripper, Nico.
Listen, you can have a legal alias.
Yes.
That is a thing that you can have. You can have multiple names.
But why would you? But what does that line even mean?
Because
though?
maybe he just saw your dad's name on and he was like, "Why the hell is this guy saying his name's Nico?"
Mm-hmm.
Some people go by their middle name instead of their legal name. You know,
Sure.
He probably was just trying to double check.
Why would you jump to male stripper?
My brother believes he was hitting on me. He got a
Yeah,
vibe.
I understand that, but I've heard some of your brother's theories in the past, and they're usually pretty fucking wrong. So,
Again, I'm not good with this sort of thing.
Do you want him to have been hitting on you?
No, but he picked up a vibe, though.
I don't think he picked up any vibes, Nico. It's not like you were laying out.
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell most days. See, that theory seems unsatisfactory as well.
Who cares if it's unsatisfactory?
Is that a joke? Is that just something you say to most people, like most days?
maybe he's just, maybe he's trying to be funny. I don't know.
That's
Who
not a
cares?
joke.
Could be a joke. It's kind
My
of
brother
You know,
believes
this is
believes
not
I
the-
was a male stripper.
I really highly doubt that. I also, this is the type of thing I would just shrug off and move on. I wouldn't dwell on it at
I'm
all.
dwelling. I've been thinking about it for the last 24 hours because I'm trying to figure out what that term means. Most days.
He has nothing better to do, folks, than to ponder.
Most days. Who says that? What kind of line is that?
Well, Henry, what do you know?
I don't know. I think there is.
Trying not to spit out my quesadilla.
I'm not saying Andre's theory is correct. What I'm saying is that he's onto something when the red flags went up. Anyway, you
No.
don't agree with this theory.
I think the problem here is
strongly disagree.
I think the problem is Andre more than anything.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
We can move on. I'm glad we got to the
Thank
bottom of that.
God.
Should we talk about this movie?
Sure.
Let's do it.
We can jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Let's jump in head first. So here's what happened. We're on the group chat. We have a group chat. For some reason, Zach is still in it. He gets all these alerts. He hasn't chimed in once.
He has his phone,
You know,
right?
Yeah.
I've tagged Zach in posts on Facebook and gotten no response. Last time I tagged Zach and Jackie, and I said, Jackie, make sure Zach looks at this. And then later, Zach liked it.
Oh.
Okay.
No,
So-
I know that Zach has free time.
I know he's on Facebook, but
Yeah.
he just doesn't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess he's in the military and all busy and stuff.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
possible.
he's gone AWOL.
Yeah. I don't buy it.
They're going to do an episode of
He's gonna come
Serial
back.
about him.
He's gonna come back. I don't feel right kicking him from the group.
No, of course not. But anyway, he's in the group chat. So every week we do the same fucking dance where it's like, we're like, what movie are we going to do this week? And normally it's like the day before. We're like, what movie are we going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. And Adam suggests like every other week Gremlins 2.
We should do Gremlins 2.
Now, are you sure you're not mistaking this with Troll 2?
I have seen Gremlins 2.
Have you seen Troll 2?
No.
Okay.
I've not seen
Because I know Troll 2 is like universally understood as the worst movie ever made.
Yes, but do we want to do another this is the worst movie ever made? Like Gremlins 2 is an interesting discussion. And it's fucking crazy.
So I said, are you sure you weren't thinking of Troll 2? And you know, no, Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2 all the way.
And so that's when Nick recommends Trollhunter.
Trollhunter,
Now, have you seen Trollhunter before?
like 5 times.
Oh,
What
wow.
the hell?
Whoa, okay.
I fucking love this movie.
Well,
Damn.
this is a like table turning moment right now.
Interesting.
Nick had seen it, and the two of us hadn't.
That is
You're
different.
surprised by this?
I'm shocked. I'm actually stunned.
A movie that Nick has seen, but I have not seen? What?
That's crazy.
What? Nick, you don't watch movies.
This is Michaela's favorite movie. Like, favorite horror movie.
What?
Favorite movie?
Favorite horror movie, like, sort
Would
of
you consider this a
horror-esque.
horror movie?
It's not a horror.
it's-
No.
Even she said, she's like, it's not really a horror movie, but this is her favorite sort of this type of movie. I don't know.
B movie, monster movie.
I wouldn't even
Like a
call
monster
it
movie, I guess. Maybe a monster movie.
It's not even really a B movie.
Yeah. How are you? I see. Now this is a movie that I had not heard of until today.
Oh, I'd heard of this.
Really? You hadn't even heard of it?
I hadn't
I'd
even heard of it.
Really? Okay.
That's surprising.
Yeah, no, this is a very like well-known movie around the internet, actually.
So, like, walk me through like how you got introduced to this movie, then, Nick, and how you fell in love with it.
Oh, no, it was just straight Michaela's like, hey, I love this movie, let's watch it. Like, but like, since I've watched it, I've seen it places. Like, I've seen it on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
For real?
I watched this for the first time, like, probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Really?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
What did you heard about it?
Again, like on the internet, it popped up with recommendations every once in a while. A Troll 2 clip would be, thrown into my like suggestions box, and I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't want to watch it. And I saw one clip from the movie where the guy in the armor gets hit by the troll. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll see this eventually.
Right.
This looks kind of funny. And I thought it was like a comedy. And I was
Well,
like,
it's kind of
It sort of is.
no.
It sort of is.
It's got its moments. So I wouldn't call it a comedy per se.
I think it's playful. How about that?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a playful movie.
Sure.
What I like about this movie, I don't want to like obviously like, give it all away right now, but for it's a found footage film.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And as far as found footage films go, this one is one of the only ones that knows how to be fun.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So many of them are not very fun.
I agree.
Because found footage films sort of, by their nature, try to strive for, like, they try to be believable, even though they're almost never believable.
Right.
Their goal is to be like, this is real. And this one, it like, sort of does that, but it just tries to be fun more. It almost cares about being fun more than it cares about you actually believing it, because it knows you're not gonna believe it.
That's actually a great point, because you're right. Most found footage movies are very gritty and dark, and there's not a lot of laugh out loud moments. I'm thinking of the Cloverfield movies. I'm thinking of that one superhero movie, Chronicle.
Like Paranormal Activity.
You're right. Yeah, they do sort of strive for dullness, if that's the right word. I mean, they're often very gray, darkly lit, not elaborate in terms of its cinematography or special effects, and the dialogue, I guess, as they interpret it, is supposed to be very serious because that's how life would react in moments like this. But yeah, this movie is a lot more bouncy, I guess, than most found footage movies. It's a lot more light on its toes.
I see that though. Do you like found footage movies though? Traditionally?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
What about you, Nick? Do you like found footage movies?
I don't hate them as much as other people do. Like, I'm not like, oh, found footage, I gotta go watch that. Like, I don't think anybody does that. But, like, I like Cloverfield.
Me too.
I
do
like
too.
Chronicle. I genuinely like Chronicle. Unironically, I really do.
Chronicle's fine. Chronicle's fine.
I also think that what they did with him using the telekinesis to start having the camera follow him around was a clever, I'm not going to call it like well done, but it was clever.
Well, the
It was a clever excuse for laziness.
Well, that's
towards
why-
the later part of the film.
Chronicle's one of those movies, like many found footage films. Now the difference with like Chronicle is that I actually kind of like that story, but I don't understand why
Right.
that movie had to be found footage.
Right.
The entire, especially in that third act, where I was like, where in the humanly fuck are these cameras coming from? Like,
Oh, in
this
the
makes
final sequence.
no
yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
at all.
about 2/3 of the way through, they're like, this found footage thing is really annoying. Let's just make him use the telekinesis to have the camera follow him around.
No, but it's not just a camera. There's like, at that point, 20 iPhones circling
He
him.
steals their
in the
iPhones.
sky.
It's like,
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
dumb.
insane.
But I think the story is great. Like, I actually really, really like that story. It's just the thing that bogs it down for me is actually the found footage element.
Right.
But in something like Cloverfield, it actually kind of makes sense. And the best example is still the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, sure.
Cloverfield
by a mile.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the monster, really.
No, not really.
It's about, like, real people just in a fucking crisis.
Which I love.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary movie too. Like I remember in the subway. Remember when those like little alien creatures,
the cricket alien things,
attacked him in the subway, and they were getting like stabbed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that shit's pretty great.
I love the shot of the girl blowing up, and it only lasts like a couple seconds, and then they turn away.
Right.
And you barely have time to process what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a real like edge of your seat. I can't believe what's going on movie.
But that works though. Like again, it just works. There's no, and it's only one point of view camera the entire time. It's not like Chronicle where for some reason they thought, oh, we'll jump to iPhones now.
Right.
Like you said, because of laziness.
I mean, found footage is a gimmick at the end of the day. I think now gimmicks are not inherently bad, but
they do seem to have a short,
a
short shelf life too.
We still haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust, by the way.
Hopefully we never
let
will.
me just pop that on and just have a jolly old time. Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it.
As I'm snacking on my quesadillas.
Go right ahead. That's not a fun movie. Don't watch
it. I wouldn't imagine so. I think
with the name like Cannibal Holocaust, what's not fun about that?
You know what?
I love both of those things. Just put them together, even better. Like, what? Why would anybody think that's a fun movie, Adam?
I'm being facetious.
I think you're right, though. Blair Witch is still the best version of it. And one of the reasons
I'll actually be honest, I haven't seen Blair Witch.
Oh, dude, Blair Witch is
and
awesome.
Halloween, October's coming up.
You want to do Blair Witch Project?
Well, we should do one of the sequels.
Apparently it's Blair Witch Project 2, the Book of Secrets or something.
The Book of Witches?
I don't fucking know.
The Book of the Witch, right?
Are you thinking of
National Treasure
2?
I was thinking of National Treasure 2, actually. That's it. Yeah.
Another potential subtitle for the Halloween franchise, by the way.
Secrets. Oh, boy.
Blair Witch.
Then there's the Adam Wingard one, which is not very good.
Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
Book of Shadows, all right.
Actually does sound like a National Treasure sequel.
So, I get a pass on that one.
Okay, yeah, we can do that one. I think you'd like Blair Witch Project, actually, Nick. I think you'd like it quite a bit.
Oh, one of the 5 scariest movies I've ever seen.
And it was really the original found footage film, right? I mean,
it's the one that essentially made it a thing.
Made the genre, so to speak. It may have not been the first one ever done, but
when you think of the found footage film, you pretty much directly cite Blair Witch Project. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that Blair Witch does so well is it gives you a credible reason why they're still filming.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the criteria we often judge found footage films on.
Yep.
And I won't say that I was 100% sold on the logic of this movie in terms of why they're still filming and why they would hire a second cameraman after the first cameraman got eaten by a troll, spoiler alert. But it is pretty credible that they're journalism students. They're out looking to get their first big break, to chase the big story, to put their names in households across the country. So, like, that's at least a fairly credible reason. Blair Witch Project, one of the brilliant things they do in that movie is they say things like, why are you still filming this? Stop filming this. Put the camera down.
And she's just like, it's all I fucking have. Now please stop.
Right.
Please. And she's like crying.
Right.
It's like, and they don't directly tell you exactly what's going on in her head. You just know that it's like, it's the only thing that she cares about in her life anymore.
Right. So they give her at least a credible reason to keep going.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I would say I kind of bought into it in this movie, honestly. It really wasn't that. I mean, maybe a little bit when the guy dies, but I don't know. Documentarians are crazy.
Yeah.
They're fucking nuts.
That's the thing. Yeah, we've also talked about plenty of real life documentarians and the type of shit they've done.
Yeah.
For less reward, frankly.
Yeah. Honest. Yeah. No, I see it.
Jan de Bont got scalped by a lion.
That's true.
So we can get a good shot.
Yeah. Jan de Bont also made Twister.
That's definitely true.
We did. Yeah.
So we should say about Trollhunter, by the way, this is a Norwegian film. Mm-hmm. It is in a foreign language. You will need to watch it with subtitles unless you speak their native tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also didn't tell you it was all in a foreign language.
I did know that. I knew it was in a foreign language.
Well, I figured that out pretty soon.
Michaela was like, did you tell them it's a foreign language? I'm like, no, they wouldn't have watched it.
I don't mind foreign language films. Nico's the one who can't stand them.
No, look, I'll sit through a foreign film if it's worth reading. But I mean, I just,
if it's worth reading.
yeah. I mean, I just don't enjoy the experience of reading a movie generally.
That's fine.
So it's like, it's the same step because I like barely read books. It's like, if it's worth reading it as a book, then it's worth reading it as a movie.
You're
I
such a
guess.
fucking millennial.
I won't watch a shitty foreign film, put it that way.
Oh, God. You might have to when we do the year of 1960, by the way.
Oh,
for
God.
movies, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We'll get there.
Did you hear the conclusion, by the way, Nick, of the Movie Hall of Fame debacle?
No.
We came to amends. It was quite a sweet thing, actually.
Oh, it was sweet.
It was a sweet thing. Yeah.
It was quite tender. We made sweet, sweet love afterwards.
No,
It was-
yeah.
Oh God.
Right in the other room. Anyway.
No, but it was a platonic thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess that's fine.
It was just... it was just to seal the friendship, that's all.
right.
All through Jeffrey Lebowski.
Well, I guess. I guess you have to listen to that Movie Hall of Fame to hear the conclusion of the saga.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we were describing it. It was like the end of a trilogy. Yeah.
Movie Hall of Fame, Civil War.
Yeah, pretty much.
Another Halloween sequel name, right?
Yeah.
So, I've never seen a Norwegian film before. Has anybody else? What's the most famous Norwegian film?
Trollhunter.
Is that it? Norwegian.
I don't know. I was thinking of because
I've seen Danish films.
I think they just got the camera in Norway like 2 years prior to this movie.
okay, you might be right about that. Yeah.
Kon-Tiki? Have you ever seen Kon-Tiki?
I have heard of Kon-Tiki actually.
That's a Norwegian film. Oh, Headhunters. That's supposed to be really good.
Headhunters?
Headhunters is like their Jason Bourne.
Interesting.
It's like a really big like blockbuster spy thriller.
Okay. I've seen some Danish films. I don't know if I've ever seen a Norwegian film before though.
Here's the thing, like spy movies about any other country
Force
than
Majeure?
like.
Is that Norwegian?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Have you noticed a spy movie about any other country besides like the U.S., England, and that's only because of James Bond, or like Russia? Like the stakes just feel so low. You know what I mean? Like imagine like a Canadian spy.
Well,
Just spying on the Eskimos.
Like I feel like the words national security don't apply.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's an influx of caribou from the north. What are we spying on? Everybody's fine up there. No one's lying to each other.
Right.
There's no need for espionage. They're all so honest.
Have you been embezzling money from the bank account? Oh yes, sir, I have. I'm very sorry.
movie's over.
Well, maybe though it was a Canadian intelligence agent that found that Justin Trudeau photo. Maybe that explains that. Maybe
Possible, yeah.
that's what they're looking
man.
into.
I feel like the majority of these movies would just account to what we get in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Very good observation, Adam.
Do you like that movie?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's boring as fuck.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for just killing the fucking vibe.
Which I'm fine with.
This guy, every fucking time we get on a little comedy bit, he just decides to butt in. Has anybody taught you improv before? Yes, and motherfucker.
No.
You don't say no.
I'm saying no.
Yes, and every time, Nick. He does this all the time. Give me
Listen,
something.
Now I'm sad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're
We're talking about Canadian spies.
There are no Canadian spies.
Oh my god.
Canadian spies are not a thing.
Could you imagine doing improv comedy with this dude? I hear a fire truck. Really, I don't.
I don't hear it. Yeah, I don't hear anything.
No. It's too bad.
It'd be the worst.
Oh, look, there's a bouncy castle outside. There actually is a bouncy castle outside.
Yeah, it's not funny when it's actually there. What are you doing? Oh my god.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Genius over here.
Unbelievable.
I want to talk about this troll movie.
I do too.
All right, go ahead. Get into
I'm-
the troll movie. Now that you've killed all of my comedic energy this morning, go ahead.
You want me to go over the plot?
Yes, please.
All right. So as we said, it's a Norwegian found footage film about a disgruntled government employee who's leaking workplace hazards to the media because he's unhappy with his lack of benefits.
Yeah. I guess that's
Right?
what it is.
That's what it is.
That's the whole plot?
Yeah, that's all I got out of it.
All right.
Did you find that credible as a reason why this troll hunter would become a whistleblower?
That is a good point. So yeah, okay. I'll step back a little bit here. So as you said earlier, with college journalism students who basically a bunch of bears were being found killed, and it's like a protected animal, I guess, out where they are. So they're trying to uncover who is killing these bears in the middle of the night or whatever. And there's this weird, mysterious dude that they keep running into, and so they think it's him, and they start interviewing him. They come to find that he's a troll hunter for the government from the Troll Slaying Services, or the TSS.
Is it? It's Troll Security Service.
Oh, Troll Security Service.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
And,
By the way, that's like calling Area 51 like the alien containment center. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to keep the Norwegian public from knowing trolls exist, why would you form an agency called Troll Hunting Services? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Couldn't come up with a better name.
Just call them Norwegian Special Forces.
There already are Norwegian Special Forces.
You have the word troll in the name of your organization, though.
No one knows this shit. There's already Norwegian Special Forces, Nico, though.
Okay.
Come on. I don't know what those guys are like, though.
Yeah, well, they say trolls all day.
Yeah.
So basically, he's been killing trolls, and they've been, for some reason, placing bears there to distract people, I guess, right?
And Russian bears, specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but... How close is Norway to Russia, by the way? I was curious about that the entire time.
I don't know.
I feel like it's...
Wait, you want me to look at a map?
I do want you to look at a map. This is your movie.
Let me pull out my office globe. Bro, I should get a globe in here. Dude, that is a long lost thing. Is the office globe. That's like a sign of like being smart.
Is
and
it?
Powerful.
Yeah.
Like,
contemplating the earth.
Yeah, dude. It's like I spin the globe. This is everything I control. I feel like banking CEOs have globes in their office.
Every single one.
Yeah, just because it's like, in this country, I'm bankrupting on Tuesday, and this is what I'm bankrupting on Wednesday.
I guess.
I think, no, it's a power move. It's like I got the whole world on my desk.
Every single teacher I ever knew had a globe, so maybe that does kind of explain
I think that's a different reason, Adam.
No, they never taught us anything on those goddamn things.
So, yeah, can you think of one time in your childhood where a teacher actually like used the globe in class?
No, actually, I can't.
Never.
I can't. No. Not a thing.
They always use those projectors.
Right.
So, yeah. So it is a power thing, Nico. You're correct.
I love the Russian bears comment. There is this point where, you know, they're one of these guys who I believe works for the TSS is speaking to the media about the bear. And he's like, yeah, they leave their food here under the bridge. And a reporter's like, isn't that strange behavior? He's like, oh, not for Russian bears. No, their winters are so cold. They act like squirrels. They just hoard their food. Like, you could tell he was bullshitting.
Yeah,
it's
Russian
just so
bears.
funny. Oh, Russian bears. No, they do that. That's...
Everybody knows they travel on unicycles.
Right.
With the little hats on.
But yeah, essentially, they find this guy is a government troll hunter, and he's been doing this for like 35 years or something, or I don't know. His whole career has been based around killing trolls. Mm-hmm. And just, you know, he keeps like wanting these kids to go away, and then finally just all of a sudden he's like, yeah, okay, you can film me. We're cool.
Yeah, I didn't entirely buy that. It was a little quick. Just like,
a little quick.
All of a sudden, he's just like, well, he was like, he brings up the point that you were saying earlier about him just being like, yeah, no, I hate the benefits. So yeah, film me now.
Yeah, he's literally like, I don't get overtime pay. I don't get overnight pay. It's like, I've been killing these trolls for years, and they just, I'm getting my measly.
It's like, bro, talk to your union rep.
Right.
I know. Like, there's an easier way to negotiate this. If pay is all you're worried about.
I feel like, how many troll hunters are there? Like 5? Get together. Go on strike.
Right, dude.
It struck me that this is the only troll hunter on Earth, though.
He might be the only one. Even better.
Yeah.
Just go on strike.
He's a badass, though. His name is Hans, by the way. We can't forget that.
Hans the Trollhunter.
One of the great movie Hans now. There's only a few, but this is maybe...
You got Zimmer?
Yeah, I was going to... Well, my power ranking is Hans Gruber, Hans from Trollhunter, and then Hans Zimmer.
What about Zell and Gretel?
What? Oh.
I was just about to make that exact same joke. How
It's
about
a really
Jeremy
bad
Renner?
joke.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner and Hansel and Gretel.
Jeremy Renner. That's the role he was born to play.
Yeah, that's what he's been working up to all these years.
Oh, shit.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and then, I mean, it's essentially just following around this guy as he's hunting trolls, and they're just trying to release it to the media so they could be like, the people need to know that trolls exist.
I get it. But they only exist in Norway? Like, that was the impression that I got. Like, what are we worried about?
Yeah, they're... what I do like about this movie is that we have so many, like, old folk tales that get turned into, like, horror movies. Mm-hmm. And there really haven't been any about trolls.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
So, for that part of the world, I think I can kind of appreciate them, like, making an honest effort.
That's fine.
Well, what I realized is I didn't really know much about the mythos behind trolls.
Well, have you ever seen Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, but like...
Or The Hobbit? Like, they turn to stone when they're in the sunlight. And...
Yeah, okay, I knew that much. I didn't know the whole thing about if you're a Christian, they'll come after you.
Oh, you never heard that? Yeah.
That's probably in, like, the old folk tales, is my guess.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
I did love the bit where they had the troll under the bridge eating the sheep, rather.
That was fucking brilliant. It
was a great...
I literally wrote, like, goats on the bridge scene, or...
It's so awesome.
Just because I just want to talk about that.
Talk about it. Go ahead.
So at one point, I would believe this is probably their second or third encounter. He gets, like, a bunch of... Were they goats or sheep? I don't think it really matters. Hooved animals.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, gets like 3 hooved animals, puts them up on top of a bridge, and they just stand away, and they're just waiting for the trolls to come. And just like, does he like throw something at one of the sheep and it falls off the bridge? And then he starts eating it?
No, he grabs it from underneath.
He just fucking grabs it and starts munching on it?
Yeah, exactly.
And just this, it's horrible. Like the shrieks of the animal.
That's pretty bad.
It's just so fucking crazy.
I hate seeing stuff like that in movies. I always feel so awful when an animal gets killed. I do.
Yeah, I will say, I want to point this out too. The CGI in this movie is like pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily great, but they knew how to use it.
Right.
They certainly knew how to hide the CGI because it's very obvious that this movie is not like a massive budget or anything like that.
No, but it's big enough though.
Yes, I agree.
You would think for a movie called Trollhunters and it's found footage style, you wouldn't think that there'd be that much CGI budget, but there is. And you're right, they shoot most of it at nighttime, so you get like
a lot of times with like a night vision camera too, so it's like all green and grainy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Which well done.
No, I thought that's if you're going to shoot this kind of thing and you only have so much to work with, this is the way to do it.
Yeah. So. But that scene really works with the CGI. You see the troll come up to the bridge and grab Hans, who's in like this all metal knight suit, kind of like the fucking knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Right.
Now, this whole scene was pretty hilarious, I have to admit.
Yeah. And so he just grabs him, throws him around, tries biting him, realizes he can't get through the metal that the guy's wearing. And the dude is just totally fine, not a scratch on him, really. He's like, I'm a little bruised up, but I'm all set.
But he gets fucked up, though. I was like, oh, God, he's dead.
As far as, like, Monster Hunter, like, any movie with, like, a Monster Hunter or any book or any series that has, like, a big Monster Hunter, right? Mm-hmm. The types of weapons they give them are, like... I loved his array of weapons in this. It was like a giant flashlight, a suit of armor, and a big metal syringe. Like, that's what he had to defend himself.
It is funny when you think about it. Literally, his primary weapon is a flashlight.
Right.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So we learn that trolls, according to myth, and apparently in this universe, this is how it actually happens. If a troll goes into daylight, they turn to stone.
Or
explode. Yes. Or explode. And there's a vet in the movie that like explains all the science, which I thought this was a great explanation. Something about how the troll can't turn the vitamin C from the sun into calcium.
It was vitamin D, actually, Nico.
Okay. And so for some reason, like the body becomes overwhelmed and just explodes. Whatever.
Fine. I buy it.
I buy it.
Yep.
So this,
because you're not about to go to medical school to dispute it.
I would love to hear.
You just go, sure, whatever. Works for me.
Right.
Like, here's the thing about it too is they didn't need to explain it. Like, you would have bought it. Who cares?
I kind of had that thought too. I was like, no, stop it. This is needless exposition. But when they did it, I was like, oh, okay,
no, I mean it's fine, but
Yeah.
they could have left it alone, and it would have been fine also.
I agree.
Like, nobody was sitting there itching, like, well, how does this work? You know?
I was very curious to understand how trolls turn to stone.
Right.
so Hans has this giant flashlight that he shines on the trolls, and if they're of a certain size, the light will kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just like regular light too. It's supposed to be like UV rays, like similar to what the sun gives off. It's a highly sophisticated piece of technology.
I was a little confused. Like, I mean, do you think the trolls would react to moonlight? It's the same thing.
Shut up, Adam.
I mean, it is. I was like, wait a second. What about the moon?
This is what I'm talking about. We're not trying to. No. You're not watching this movie actually trying to like care. Like that's my point. You shouldn't be watching this.
Adam,
being like,
tell
how
me
does this
more
work?
about the Canadian Secret
don't-
Service. My God, this guy's just fucking Captain Buzzkill today, huh?
I'm curious
No, I'm
about
just
the
thinking-
moonlight. It's a did they never consider that?
By all logic, you should be right, and I can't argue with you. But
I guess
my
you're
whole
right.
point.
I'm
My
just
whole
saying.
point is they shouldn't have even let you worry about it. It never should have been a question. It just listen. Put a light on a troll, it turns to stone. Boom, done. Like move on.
Well, I guess trolls don't have any issue with Muslims either, even though they do believe in God. So that was another.
No, it's just Christians.
Oh, just Christian.
I love when he says to the Muslim girl, "Oh, I'm not really sure what that means, but we'll give it a shot."
I honestly don't know, but whatever. We'll see what happens. That was great.
So, if you're not a Christian, will they just not attack you?
They won't come for you. They'll still eat you, I assume, but it's not like, oh, Christians, yes, let's eat that. No, it's not like that, dude.
All right. Yeah, that was a bizarre one. I had not heard that before.
Yeah.
You know what I found hilarious? I wrote this down in my notes. This was actually the biggest laugh I had in the whole movie. Is when Hans is setting the trap, like the bear trap type thing with the claw, and to lure in the troll, he just puts a rock on top of it
With charcoal.
because these trolls only eat rocks, and I guess humans and animals occasionally, but it's their diet that's mostly rocks. So they're on a mountain with tons of rocks all over the place.
Right.
But this is going to be the rock that's going to lure him in like a like mouse going to cheese.
I think he said it's concrete and charcoal, never fails.
Dude, that is so
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
That killed me.
So this movie was full of like some laughs, some intentional and some not.
Yeah.
There's this one point where they're talking to Hans, and earlier Hans said like, I will not go into their troll territory, like I refuse. And so they ask him, they go, why wouldn't you go into their territory? And he starts telling a story about when he was young. And he's like, they wanted to build was it a power system, like a
Power lines, yeah.
like a power grid or something?
Yep.
And we were trying to tell them not to, but they didn't listen, so they sent me to go kill all the trolls. And he he's like, I had to kill kids, pregnant females, newborn trolls that didn't even learn how to walk yet. As if we're supposed to be like sympathetic to these trolls all of a sudden. Like, and this is the only glimpse in the entire movie where they're like, feel bad for the trolls. Like, that's it. It's just that 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And we're yucking it up here. Like that's
So out of place.
That is such a like comically stupid scene, but like
Is there self-awareness, though? I feel like there's gotta be some
I think that's
Oh,
the
there
difference.
is. There totally
Absolutely,
is.
yeah.
The movie is totally self-aware, and it sounds like a really stupid broad comedy the way we describe it, but it actually comes across as pretty sincere.
I never actually said, like, I really liked this movie.
Yeah, I did too.
I really liked this movie. Yeah.
I'm glad. I actually thought Nico was gonna hate it.
No, I didn't hate
thought
it
you
at
were gonna
all.
hate it.
I had a hunch, like, you know what? Nico's gonna admire some things about this movie.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, it's definitely not my type of movie, by no means. But yeah, I mean, it's the fact that it's self-aware does elevate it.
I agree.
Like if they had played this just as a straight gory horror film, and it was uber violent and not self-aware at all, that would have really bothered me. And if it went too much in the other direction where it was just a broad comedy, it would have bothered me. I think they found a sweet spot right in the middle that worked.
Yeah, I think it's...
I will be honest too. The whole movie, they sort of toe the line between like, are we self-aware? Are we not self-aware? And you never really can quite tell up until literally the last 5 seconds. I think that's what really seals the deal.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's a moment.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a press conference with the Norwegian president.
So, yeah, I mean, well, you know...
Go ahead. Keep going through the plot.
You want to finish up? Okay, yeah, we'll finish
go
up
ahead.
then.
Finish it up.
So the last big scene really is they're going to capture a giant troll that is like has rabies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're going to try to kill it, and you know, a lot of things go wrong. The light on his truck that he would normally use to shine on them breaks, and as he does confirm, yeah, the thing has rabies, and they need to like inject it, right? It was the idea. They were trying to like get a blood sample.
Yep.
I think.
Well, they got the blood sample from the one on the bridge, and they had already concluded that they had rabies, but now he was just trying to kill this one. That's what I thought anyway, yeah. So
yeah, the light breaks down. They're trying to drive away. It's a whole big action sequence, and Hans is like, you guys escape. I'm going to take care of this thing. And instead of escaping, the kids try to like sort of help him, go after him. And then it basically just says, this is where the footage ended. None of the kids were found again. You know, that whole kind of ending where it's like, okay, they're all probably dead. And they're like, if you find any information, please report it to your nearest police station. Which is so funny. I don't know why. But finally, the last scene, they're doing one of those, you know, they're scrolling through the credits and they're telling you what happened after the fact. And then they say, you know, the Norwegian government has never acknowledged that trolls exist or this footage, but there was a hint of it at a press conference recently. The reporters didn't pick up on the hint, though. And then they're showing this clip of the Norwegian president, and he's just like, we need to build a power grid because there are trolls in Norway. So he just blatantly says, like, yeah, there are trolls here.
I was laughing pretty hard at that point. I was like, it's the way he says it. It's like, you know, we got to do some work. You know, there's trolls. We got to do something about this. And the guy's just like, oh, what the? Because there's that one dude who kept,
he's another TSS guy, I think,
who's like putting the bears in the woods and his little bare feet to make traps.
When they're planting the dead bears in the woods, they use little bare feet to like make traps. It's so fucking silly. There's this Polish paint company that comes and drops off the bears. That guy was
so funny.
They're like, why? What do you think they're buying these bears for? And the guy's like, I don't ask questions. They give me money, whatever.
I loved it. I love the little detail when they're like, that's the right paw and this is the left paw. They're on opposite sides. Was the bear walking just trying to poke fun at the fact that this guy's logic is ridiculous?
Right.
I loved it.
But yeah, so that last scene, he literally just mentions like, yeah, there are trolls in Norway, and then it does that thing that like only sort of like stupid comedies do, where all of a sudden it cuts to loud credits music with like Trollhunter on the screen.
That's basically what it was.
Essentially, yeah. And so that really seals the deal. Like, yeah, this movie's obviously really stupid, but hope you had a good time.
Yeah. It's super charming though. I thought it was great. Yeah.
One other little guffaw before we start talking about other stuff is, you know, he's talking to some sort of, I don't know if he was a meteorologist or something, but the guy's like, he's refusing to say that there were any trolls here. He keeps pointing to the satellite photos, and then Hans just goes, but you can't see trolls in satellite photos. You big idiot. Like, oh, okay, sorry, Hans, I didn't know that.
Why can't you see trolls in satellite photos?
It's just so stupid. It's like, the way he says it is like, you're so stupid, you should have known. Everybody knows you can't see trolls in satellite photos. And then I also love, like, they talk about, like, oh, the trolls are living in the mountains. Mm-hmm. And it's really just an excuse for them to, like, include shots of mountains.
There are so many Vista shots. It's nuts.
They're just filming mountains, and they're like, there are trolls in those mountains. And it's like, I can't help but think in reality, I'm like, we don't have the budget to animate any more trolls, so we're just going to show you pictures of mountains to fill up some time.
You might be right. I thought it looked great, though, honestly. I was this movie looks fantastic to me.
I agree with you 100%. I loved the final scene with the giant troll and the scope.
Oh, the third act is awesome.
It's an awesome third act.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I love the random seismologist that they pick up. It's like, I didn't know it was a troll.
I was just here looking at the earthquakes.
No, look, man, it's a solid movie.
Yeah.
It's a solid movie on a lot of levels. It feels like a real cool found footage comedy type thing, but it also works as an action movie, and there are elements of horror. And yeah, I think charming's a good word. It's a very charming little movie.
Yeah, because the troll hunting itself, they sort of play it off as if they're like storm chasers in a way. That's what I kept thinking about the entire time.
Kept thinking of Twister.
Yeah.
Well, Twister's on the mind. Yeah.
Exactly.
Only Philip Seymour Hoffman was in the ship.
Oh my god.
I got the vibe from the group chat that you guys weren't really looking forward to this. So were you pleasantly surprised?
I was.
Yes.
I was definitely pleasantly surprised. By the way, I want to make one more note. All of the details, as a journalism student at one point in time in school, and having been sent on a lot of these stupid stories where you're there with a camera and a tripod and a fucking microphone, I love just the little details of like, oh yeah, we have to do the white balance first. Like they actually, when they included the scene of the guy holding up the white piece of paper and the guy's doing a white balance, I thought that was just a brilliant little touch.
Well, I love that too, and it's done purely for the audience, because normally if you're editing this thing together, you wouldn't show that at all.
Right.
But they're just like, yeah, to those who care, we paid attention.
Right. Like I've just been there, done that. I've been on countless one of these stupid story assignments where like I'm going to a town hall and I have to make something interesting about snow budgets,
Snow budgets?
Oh, that's a real story I had to do once. Yes.
What's a snow budget?
Like snow removal budgets.
Oh, snow removal. Oh, I thought they were
For like the plows and whatnot.
Yeah.
determining how much snow they wanted this
I had to do
year.
a story about that for journalism once.
Yikes.
Dude, journalism school is the worst. If you want to, don't go to journalism school. That's just a little handy tip for you. It's a total fucking waste of time.
What if you like writing about absolutely nothing?
Well, then maybe it's for you. Or if you like filming absolutely nothing. The amount of stupid ass B-roll you're going to get of taxi cabs. It's the worst. Just buses.
This was at Boston.
Oh, everything. I did just journalism all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah, here and there. The worst. All right. I don't have anything for Drew Carey, and I also have to get going.
I don't have anything for Drew Carey either, but
Okay. So we'll skip that this week.
Are we 2 weeks in a row skipping it?
No, we did it last week. We
okay.
did Peter Jackson last week, so we'll
Man,
come
we're
back.
bad though. We're bad.
Nah, don't worry. It'll come back.
I wanted to suggest an idea at some point. Can we do RoboCop month? Just like for ideas, because we're running out of ideas all of a sudden.
RoboCop month?
Yes.
We've never run out of ideas, Adam.
No. But we were having trouble last night, and I was like, let's just do something like fun. Let's do a RoboCop month, because Nick's never seen RoboCop, and the other movies are definitely worth talking about.
Maybe we can do 2 RoboCop podcasts. I don't think we could fill a full month with RoboCop content.
Damn.
We'll make
There's some great stuff there.
All right, we'll do RoboCop.
We don't have to do RoboCop.
We had an idea, I thought, for something, didn't we? We had like a theme month coming up.
What was it? Because I think you're right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Next month we got to do some horror stuff, which is coming up pretty soon, guys.
Oh right, yeah, October.
October.
No, the spooktacular.
Oh God.
Spectacular.
Were we gonna?
And then, if you want, in November, why don't we do robots? We'll do RoboCop and some other robot shticks.
There we go.
That's not a bad idea.
Rovember.
Didn't you want to? Okay, but didn't you want to save RoboCop for like a remakes thing? I think you mentioned that once, actually.
Oh, we were going to do a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah,
well, we'll talk off air.
Okay.
See, we always talk about doing side-by-sides, and here's the thing, guys. They're just too long.
Yeah.
We have to watch 2 movies.
We also have to do our Great District 9 debate at some point.
Oh, my God. No. Oh, you know what else I wanted to do was with the Spider-Man movies with Nick.
Oh, right.
Because you hate those movies.
Spider-Man 3. We got to talk Spider-Man 3.
I hate them. They're just not good.
Oh, my God. What are you talking about?
We'll do a movie Hall of Fame with the Spider-Man franchise. How about that?
Ooh,
Let's be real here, by the way. It's not even the movies I hate. I just hate Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He's just awful.
All right.
We'll talk.
All right.
Check us out on the website, which is currently under construction. So, Nick, explain what happened.
Yeah.
Explain what happened.
Well, I wish I had more information about what really happened. All I know is that our site crashed. We use WordPress, and our theme caused some issue. I don't know what. but we got a notification that our theme was causing a problem. And in the meantime, we switched to a different theme, and the site is up. It's not really easily navigatable, but navigable. Is that the word?
Sure.
But, you know, your podcast should not be affected. I mean, we upload the audio to the site, which ends up in your feeds. So as long as the site's up, you guys should get your podcasts.
But just know that the site looks hideous right now.
The site is hideous, and we're working on it. I might be working on that immediately following this podcast. So maybe by the time this is up, you'll have something that looks halfway decent. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I think someone tried to sabotage us. That's what I think.
Oh, dude.
Wouldn't take much. I mean,
It was the TSS.
yeah.
They knew
the
we were,
Peter Jackson lobby. They came for.
They didn't like what you had to say about bad taste, Nick.
The New Zealand
You didn't
government.
like bad taste? I'm going to ruin his website.
All right, that'll do it. Anything else, y'all? Follow us everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that shit.
Sure. Vote Trump.
What?
I mean, if you want.
Do whatever you want.
I mean, vote for whoever you feel would
don't
be
care.
the best candidate. I mean, I don't know. You don't have to, but
These nuts 2020, whatever. I'm good for it.
join the Yang Gang. You've all been naughty.
No.